Hey guys, Arisu here with another polytopia content. I really like Zebasi. Well, at least here in small continents. Since Zebasi starts with farming, I get easy access to construction. And with construction, I can go trade. Later on, middle game, late game, I can get a lot of stars per turn with Zebasi. And in this game, I plan to do just that. Well, that's what I plan to do most of the game, most of the times. But in this game, I am actually in a very good spot trying to do that. Now I went with fishing, since I saw that my third city is actually also a port city, so I can get that additional connection and population there. And unfortunately, my ruin gave me I should say, an explorer, which not necessarily not necessarily a bad explorer, but I would have preferred stars. Now I go with a connection plus stars rather than explorer, since I'm very greedy. Now I went with sailing. I met Zebasi. Now I get stars from my second ruin. Another stars for my third city. Now I'm planning to capture this city here and taking construction for population, because actually I plan to do a border road here later with a connection port here, since there's very good market spots with border growth here. Port, border growth, upgrade. I go with stars again. I was planning to take this city, but I'm not going to do that since they have a veteran swordsman, so I just have to take this city here and pre-move my units to get stars from the starfish. Yeah, denied by a veteran swordsman. Connection, now explorer. So I was thinking maybe I can get a lighthouse here. So since this one's in very close proximity with my continent, I was hoping to go and get Eye of God, but unfortunately the explorer went sideways. But for a consolation prize, I get very good vision on the opponent. And then I see they have trade. Turn 11, they have trade. I don't. I'm still very far away from trade. I need 9, 15, 19, 14, I mean. A few turns away from trade. But at least I have navigation. But I don't think that's enough to offset their early start from plus 5 stars per turn. Yeah, not enough. So I really need to rush and get markets as soon as possible. Another market developed, they just keep on developing. They captured this city. I hope I can deny that next turn. Yeah, I have enough units, but they also have enough units to deny me that city. First giant, turn 12, second giant, turn 12. Removing, and then another giant, turn 12. 3 giants, turn 12. With the help of construction, windmill, and Park of Fortune. I only see that the opponent has 1. So I really need to make do and make something happen with my early giants. And that is exactly what I'm trying to do. Porting. Just 1. Actually 2. And then they take city wall. I was planning to capture this city, but since now they have city wall, I don't have enough units to make that happen. Unless I do something very interesting, which is making a scout. I was sacrificing a scout This scout is essentially dead, but now I'm sieging this city with the giant. The only thing they can do is do a giant push. I hope they don't, but you'll see later on that they actually have enough resources to make that happen. Now giant turned 15, I turned 14 for me. So I'm 2 turns late in trade, but in return I have very healthy and very strong navy. And I'm also trying to take this city here, but unfortunately they have enough resources to make a giant poof. And now they're also preparing to attack in the waters. But I really don't want them to do that. So I'm just trying to poke down this giant, but also preparing my market spots. I also have a very soon pending giant here. They have a lot of giants. A lot. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Against my 1, 2, 3. This is not a very good spot. They're trying to undermine my early navy with 3 Juggernauts. So I really need to defend. So the only thing I can do is bombers. Now I have 3 Juggernauts, but this one's going to die shortly after since it's next to a land tile and they have a lot of riders. They can just smack it for 3 points, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, something else. They have also very healthy, very well defended port spot here. I don't have any good access here since this is a canal. The only true way to attack this city here is with scouts, but that's too expensive. Or with rider roads. Now they're smacking down my Juggernaut. And just enough to kill it. Now they get their bombers in a very good position since it's guarded by this giant here. Now they park their Juggernaut there. So attacking. Now with rammers, since rammers is a very good counter for Juggernauts. Now sieging with the warrior. Unfortunately, my bomber took some damage, so I really need to retreat as soon as possible. But here, let's pause a bit. They made a mistake by pushing down their bombers, by pushing up their bomber. This position here is very safe, but since they push it up, it's now very susceptible to scouts and rider roads. So that's 15 stars. Very expensive. But in return, they're threatening to capture this city here. Their Juggernaut here is dead. Now I go with strategy since Defender is very good in the sea since it can become a rammer. Now they're sieging with the giant. I make another bomber, attacking this city and sieging with a giant. And now defending it with another giant. The thought process being they can't make a giant push here because all of their tiles are already developed. They don't have any other tiles for further development. This city can actually be, how should I say, unsieged with a giant poof since I just need 5 population to make that happen, and luckily enough, I have just enough stars and resources to make that happen. And then I made a giant poof. So at this point, I thought, I'm winning. I have reversed the situation. I'm sieging this city, and I've denied them this siege here. They have no way of unsieging. I'm in a very good and winning position. But in the next few turns, you will see that's not really how that happened. they went and took Chivalry. Very expensive decision. Very expensive investment. 40, 90, 30 plus stars. They had to sacrifice their level 8 market to make that happen. To place also a Gate of Power to do a giant move. Now, in this position, I'm actually worse off. I've just lost a few points and I had to sacrifice 2 giants to do a siege here. And now one has been giant poof and this one stranded here. This giant's going to die in a few turns. He's under attack by 1, 2 giants and a lot of units. I really need to make something happen. So I'm just trying to pelt it down, hoping to do another siege, but unfortunately I don't have enough units to make that happen. So, new plan, just kill this bomber and push my giant here. I still have 2 bombers here in very good health, so maybe I can make something happen. Another giant, turn 20. They made a bomber here. Now they're attacking my bomber here. My giant here is dead. Most of my riders are in very poor health, but I just decided to move my giant down to hopefully at least force their bombers to retreat. Or just sacrifice their bombers. Either way is fine. Juggernaut here, almost dead. I went with hunting and archery. The thought process being, if I want to siege this city here, the most cost-effective solution is archers. Not only do I get defense bonus, but archers are very cheap. So I can just, spam them and pelt this defender down. My bomber here is now dead, but I've made their defender to move back. But let's see. I went and took climbing. Why? Where's my giant? Ah, okay. It went up, yeah. Okay, that's why I took climbing. Now I'm belting down this defender, but I've miscount and I am still down an additional 2 health. So unfortunately, I'm not going to siege this city, but I am going to siege this city with the giant. And I've also moved my bombers in a very, very good spot. They don't have any units to kill these bombers here. These bombers are essentially secured in a very good choke point. I'm just moving my navy units here. The only bomber here is in a very poor spot. Now they went with catapults, but that won't be very useful against my bombers. Bomber, bomber, bomber hit, bomber hit, bomber hit, and then siege with rammer. Pushing up my archers, I went with forestry, mathematics, and they just surrendered since I now have a catapult here. Also sieging with the defender, and that's a good game. Yeah. 2 giant pops, late game turn 14, a lot of giants, a lot of juggernauts, a lot of markets, a lot of stars. So I hope you guys enjoyed this game, and if you did, liking and subscribing is a very huge help. And I hope you enjoyed, and see you on the next one.